Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast. And this week I'm going to be reviewing 3 Japanese films that I believe are of a very high quality and are also from recent years. So if you want to keep up with contemporary Japanese cinema, it might be a good idea to check these 3 movies out, but you can make that determination yourself as I go through each review this week. And the first film we're covering this week is a film called River's Edge, a Japanese drama from 2018. Now, this is actually set in the 1990s, and it revolves around a small handful of high school students. So the main protagonist is a girl named Haruna, played by Fumi Nikaido. Now, she's dating a real jerk named Shuhei, who cheats on her and bullies one of his gay classmates, a young man named Ryo, who eventually befriends Haruna. Then we have 3 other schoolgirls who round out the main group of characters. It's a bit difficult to describe the story of River's Edge because it's very different compared to other movies and how it develops things. You know, it actually avoids a lot of cliches that you might expect from a high school themed film and does not play out like you think it will for much of its runtime. And that's one of the things that I enjoyed most about this. You know, it concerns itself with being realistic and compelling instead of simply following genre cliches, and I like that. Now, since we have a handful of characters in an ensemble film, you're not exactly sure how they are going to interact with one another, because the film kind of bounces around a little bit. You know, there are a lot of scenes that involve only 2 characters, but it mixes and matches which 2 characters are alone together. So you'll have this main group of people who might be in class together or at school together, but then you'll get scenes where you might have this person and this person kind of having a conversation, and then this person and this person are doing their own thing, and it mixes and matches things. So you get a lot of variety in the interaction because there's a lot of different combinations of characters in the scenes in this film. Of course, you know, there are scenes where they're all together like at school, but it's the intimate moments that are the most interesting here. And there's some good stuff here. And remember, the 1990s it was a pretty bad decade for Japan in terms of its economy. And it's not like the 2000s was that much of an improvement from what I've heard, but remember, the 80s, Japan was rolling, and then it hit the bubble burst, and the 90s was they kind of came back to reality, so to speak. And the ramifications of that period is frequently portrayed and reflected in Japanese films from the 1990s. And River's Edge kind of taps into that downbeat mentality that a lot of people were apparently having back then. Now, the teenagers in this movie definitely have a negative outlook on life. Another important thing to understand that in terms of tone, this is a very serious film, okay? It has dramatic intensity to it, and it focuses a lot on its characters and the character development. You know, it really kind of gets into the psychology and mentality of these students, while also exploring some dark themes along the way. There's quite a bit of sex in this movie as well, a few scenes of which are kind of graphic, actually. So I was not quite expecting that going into this. So if you're a parent, probably best not to watch this one with your teenage son or daughter. And if you're a teenager, do not watch this with your parents. It'll be an uncomfortable experience when the sex scenes pop up. But the sexual content in this does communicate certain aspects of the characters and assists in their development. You know, the way they react to sexual situations and their state of mind during those situations is actually kind of important in this film, and it says a lot about their approach to romantic relationships. There are also some short interview segments with the characters as well, which I thought was handled nicely. Now, Fumi Nikaido is one of those actresses that I'll watch in anything. You know, most people would recognize her from Why Don't You Play in Hell? But she's been in some other good stuff too, like Scoop, Lesson to the Evil, and Himitsu, among some others. I will say, however, that the acting in River's Edge seemed a little bit off near the beginning, and it's hard to describe. It's kind of hard to describe. It just felt a little bit off, but it recovers very quickly, and overall the performances are very solid. Also, some of the actors in this do seem to be a little bit too old to be playing high schoolers, and I did check their ages I checked their ages on Asian Wiki, and they are a little bit too old to be playing high schoolers. Although Nikaido does look like she's still 18 in my eyes, so it's kind of a mixed bag in terms of the aging or the age of the cast members. But it was only marginally distracting at times, so not a big deal. Performances in this, again, like I said, solid. When all is said and done, there's definitely a high-quality feel to the acting in River's Edge. Now, Isao Yukisada is the director. I've seen a bunch of this guy's movies, not all of them. I think he's kind of a hit-or-miss director in my eyes, with some good stuff and some not-so-good stuff. His best film is probably Parade from 2009. I think Tetsuya Fujiwara was in that one, and that's one of his best performances. So if you haven't seen Parade, that's an awesome movie. It's pretty cool stuff. And River's Edge is actually good enough to kind of give that film a run for its money in terms of my favorite film from this director. So if you want to explore this director, check out River's Edge and Parade. So yes, I definitely recommend River's Edge, especially if you want, if you're in the mood for a serious, higher quality teen drama that focuses a lot on character development and also has a little bit of a dark edge to it at times. This is one of those films also that just gets better and better and better as it rolls along. You know what I mean? Even if you're a half hour into the film and you're still kind of feeling it out, just stay patient because it keeps getting better and better as it goes. Definitely a film that I will be recommending quite a bit to people in the future. And it's currently available on Netflix streaming in the United States with English subtitles. And as always, I'll see you next time.